Question number 35. Be ready. Comments. Mr. Chairman, this year is a year of great significance in the progress towards the economic development of the nation. In this year, the fourth five-year plan will be put on the road and we shall open new chapter in the economic development of the country. The concept of planning has been universally accepted not only in underdeveloped and developing countries but also in developed countries. The basis of the concept of planning is to meet the challenges of poverty and unemployment. A genuine, fair and honest effort has been made in fourth plan to meet these challenges. Criticism has now been leveled on the same pattern as was done previously when the three plans were formulated. The oft repeated criticism is that the plan does not meet the needs and aspirations of the people at large and that it is not of the magnitude which will effectively and forcefully deal with their problems. It is my duty to point out at this juncture that the size of every plan is based on the resources available and the resources in turn depend upon the ability of the people to pay taxes. For example, what we find is that the fourth plan is based on the resources that are available to the central government. The states have been often complaining that they have not been given their due share. They want the maximum out of the central resources, but they seldom want to contribute as liberally as possible towards the plan. The central resources can be divided into two categories. We have the external resources, that is, the aim from foreign countries, and the internal resources. In actual practice, we have observed that external resources have in many instances hampered our development rather than accelerating it. As for the internal resources, the position is that with the existing system of taxation, we have already reached the statutarian point. Some honorable members have recommended resort to deficit financing. In my view, if we take resource to this recommendation, the unpalatable consequence will be inflation, which would affect the weaker sections of the society and fixed income groups. Very probably, we may be faced with a situation similar to the one faced by the Germans after the First World War. So this source is also very limited. In my honest view, the states have not mobilized their resources to the extent they are expected to do. If only they play their part well in this respect, I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever that it will go a long way in effectively raising the size of the plan. The illiterate my mind, let me first refer to the agricultural sector. At present, we have no plan to introduce agricultural income tax when the other sectors are called upon to pay this tax. There is no justification for the agricultural sector not being brought under the purview of this tax. But I know pretty well that the state will be hesitant to take resources to this as they apprehend that it may cost them some votes. I can enumerate more instances of the states not contributing to the extent to which they can. Again, I will have to revert to the agricultural sector. It needs irrigation, seeds, fertilizers and an economic holding. The fourth plan thus provides for irrigation, fertilizers and better seeds. But so far as economic holding is concerned, it is for the states to take bold, imaginative steps to provide it. What we actually find is that with each succeeding generation, the economic holdings are being subdivided and fragmented. The states can pass legislation to prevent such fragmentation of economic holdings. Because of these uneconomic holdings, which are coming into existence in larger numbers and larger areas, neither the farmer is able to employ modern scientific methods in intensive farming, nor can he leave the land and take up alternative and more remunerative employment. Results in two tragedies: the country losing the increased farm production and the deterioration in the average farmer's living standards. There is another shortcoming which I would like to point out, and on which of course the Planning Commission has laid great stress, and that is the family planning program. It is a matter of great concern to all of us that whatever be the achievements we make in the agricultural or industrial sector, it is neutralized by this increase in population. It is therefore time for us to seriously and sincerely consider whether the voluntary efforts in this field so far undertaken would suffice, or whether this policy should undergo some radical change. Experts feel that a certain element of compulsion in this field is the need of the hour to arrest the population explosion. One of the honorable members has suggested the nationalization of all the banks and fixing a ceiling on urban property. Assuming we nationalize all the banks, will anyone be able to guarantee that with the money which we may be get in the form of profits, we will be able to raise the resources needed for the plan? Stop.